Hello YouTube, Andy from NGB here, and I've got a little bit of an unboxing video for you this evening, and it is, I've just taken delivery of this little pile of bad boys, the Resident Evil 2 board game by Steamforged Games. Now, just as a disclaimer, these are my copies. I kickstarted the game for Steamforged, and this is everything from the base Kickstarter pledge. So you've got the base Resident Evil 2 board game, the B-Files expansion, the survival horror expansion, and also a box of alternative sculpts of some of the models, which is exclusive to Kickstarter. So what we're going to do, let's crack these boxes open, and we're going to start with this box here, the base Resident Evil 2 board game. So let's get the cellophane off there and see what we get in the box. So slide the lid off. So of course Steamforged are making a name for themselves with video game, board game adaptations, having previously done a board game version of Dark Souls. This game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore, because of course it does, it's Resident Evil. So we've got the rule book there. We've got a scenario book there, because it is a cooperative scenario driven adventure board game. We've got various different tile sets for the locations. So the idea being, I believe, that each scenario has you build a map of different areas from Resident Evil 2, and tasks you then with obviously navigating those, solving puzzles, and ultimately reaching the goal. And obviously if you're playing, you can play with one player, you can play with more than one player, and you have these lovely little models here. So I believe in the base game we have Leon over there and Claire, and there's some alternate sculpts for those in the main game. We've got various different zombies and some lickers and some zombie dogs, a whole bunch of dice and some equipment cards and various different cards there. So yeah, I think it's a scenario driven adventure game, cooperative for 1 to, how many players? 1 to 4 players. So obviously you get 2 characters in the base set, and we'll move on to the expansions where we get more. So yeah, so as I was saying, Steamforged are making quite the name for themselves with video game, board game adaptations with their Dark Souls games. They did an adventure board game for that, and they also did a very, very good adventure card game for that, which I am trying to convince everybody to play. However, their aversion to playing anything with the Dark Souls name on it is leading me to a few stoppage points along the way with that, but we'll get there, we'll get them playing Dark Souls. And also Steamforged have recently kickstarted a game based on Horizon Zero Dawn, which looks very, very lovely, but I have not kickstarted that, so I may try and pick a copy of that up at some point in the future. This is our first expansion, the B-Files expansion, which according to the back of the box looks predominantly like it's more enemies. We've got the Tyrant in there, we've got some more zombies and some more lickers. So let's get the cellophane off there and see what delights lie within. Pop the lid off. So of course I'm going to have to find somewhere for these big boxes to live. I must admit, I wasn't expecting them to all be in big boxes, but there you go, it's a big game. So, another rule booklet for the B-Files there. Another set of scenery, a couple more sets of scenery, and we've then got models. So we've got the various models of the Tyrant there, and some zombies, and a couple of lickers, and some different cards. So that'll just, you know, be a nice little expansion to the base game. Add a few more scenarios, I think, Just give it a bit more, a bit more than what you get in the box of the normal base game. And obviously, as I say, this is off Kickstarter, but you are going to be able to buy this from all good board game shops. So if you have a local independent board game shop and you fancy this, go and get your order in. Next up, we have got the survival horror expansion. So let's pop this open and take a look at what we've got inside. Box number 3. These are actually getting progressively lighter. So the first box, obviously with all the bits in, was quite heavy. These are almost feel like they could have been in smaller boxes, but hey ho. I'm sure I shall eventually combine everything into one box, as I have a tendency to do. So again, we got a rules booklet. No scenery in this one, so just straight into the models. And these, as you can see from the grey figures, are predominantly main characters, some zombies, some giant spiders, and some ivies there. So we've got the Birkins, including Sherry Birkin, Brad Vickers. God, Brad, it looks like he's in zombie form there. Oh no, maybe not. No, I don't think so. And yeah, so a whole bunch of characters, a whole bunch of scenarios to play, and the main draw of the Kickstarter was the alternate sculpts, and this is in this box here. So let's pop that open and see what we've got. The alternate sculpts. So these are the Kickstarter exclusive gubbins. So this has landed quite nicely, this Kickstarter. I know Steamforged are still delivering on their Dark Souls Kickstarter. So it's nice that this Resident Evil one has actually hit its intended street date. So let's pop this open. Let's take a look at some of the models that we get in this. Oh my gosh! So we've got various different bits and bobs in here. So let's pop out one of these zombies here. Try and prop that up as well. Oh, there we go. There's one falling out there. Let's get him as well. So there's a little zombie. Try and get him on camera. There. Little zombie. Hi! How you doing? Can I come and play with you? He's probably not. He's actually probably trying to eat either Leon or Claire. And this zombie here is on fire. That zombie is most definitely on fire. So the sculpts are quite nice. They've got a reasonable amount of detail on them. The Dark Souls ones weren't, they weren't the most detailed models that I've seen. That's not sure. Is that a Stars fella? I'm not entirely sure. See if we can find someone. I think that's Claire. There, so let's pop Claire out. That's an alternate sculpt for Claire. They're all falling out now. Yeah. I think that's Claire, isn't it? With a ponytail. So they're reasonably well detailed. They're fairly sort of slim moulds. They seem quite a bit slimmer than the Dark Souls one. The appeal of the Dark Souls models obviously was that they had some quite chunky, big characters in, which obviously you get in some of these sets, and there is a couple of expansions that are going to be available for it, including the giant alligator boss and various different stages of William Birkin's transformation from the game. So it's got that big bosses, but it certainly doesn't have sort of like the big scale. It doesn't seem to have the big scale that the Dark Souls board game has. The Dark Souls board game, you need a big table to play that game. This I don't think you're going to need quite as much space. But there you go, yeah, Resident Evil the board game, Resident Evil 2 the board game by Steamforged Games, available in all good board game retailers. Look out for the box, just there. That's a lovely little early Christmas present. I'm looking very much forward to cracking that open, having a wee game. Like I say, it is minimum of 1 player, so you can play through the scenario yourself. But I will try and get the guys together and yeah, we'll maybe over Christmas we'll have a little game of this and maybe get on some Dark Souls as well, and yeah, see how it plays. But yeah, if you like what you've seen, do give us a like, share, comment, subscribe, and all the usual jazz. And we shall see you again in the future. Bye.